Hello and welcome to PolicyBazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat. Now in 2012, the insurance regulator, IRDA, issued a notification which would allow any health insurance customer to shift from an existing insurer to another insurer he deems to be better than his current one. Now this was a well-researched move intended to truly benefit a consumer who tends to buy the cheapest health insurance, overlooking the importance of features. But a year on, most experts feel that consumers are not really reaping the full benefits of this customer empowerment move. The reason? Lack of awareness. To shed some light on the concepts of health insurance portability, we have Yashish Dahiya with us, CEO of PolicyBazaar, and also its founder. Welcome to the show, Yashish. Now, what is the concept of health insurance portability?
I think the health insurance portability is a very good concept brought out by the regulator. Essentially, what it allows a consumer to do. So think before portability, if you had a health insurance policy and you had completed 4 years with it, so your waiting period on pre-existing diseases was over, and you were not happy with the services of your insurer, if you left that insurer and you went and took another policy, you would have to start from afresh. What that meant was a 30-day waiting period in terms of making any claims, another 4-year waiting period in most cases on pre-existing diseases, maternity benefits getting delayed, and a lot of other benefits which usually start at the later date of a policy. That would happen. So essentially people felt that they would lose a lot of benefits by changing insurer. That is no longer the case. You can change, and when you do change, these benefits, which is your base sum assured, the amount of no claim bonuses you've collected, your time-based starting of covers around waiting periods, etc., those all get shortened. So you can start immediately. Now what that does is it forces your current insurer to be at a certain service level, because if they're not at that service level, you can move to another policy. It also encourages innovation, because a new company can innovate and it doesn't have to look for fresh consumers, because health insurance as a concept, consumers haven't picked it up. Like, individual consumers are not buying health insurance in very large numbers still. Most of it tends to be corporate insurance and government insurance, etc. Now, for individual consumers, a small company who innovates and brings out a good product suddenly has the possibility of taking a lot of the existing customers and providing them health cover. So from an innovation, from a customer service perspective, from a consumer angle, it is a great move.
So let's look at it from the consumer angle.
Yes.
What are the main advantages for person A taking an insurance from A and then going on to B? Why should I change?
So nobody's asking you to change. However, you're no longer stuck with a non-performing policy, if there is one. Many people come and say, yeah, I'm stuck with my policy, I would like to change. However, I have built up my loyalty bonuses, I no longer have the wait period. Whenever you start a health insurance policy, it usually has these clauses, 2 years, 4 years, 60 days, 90 days of wait periods. All those wait periods go away. That is the advantage. That if you were to change now with portability in it, you wouldn't lose the benefits that you have accumulated with your existing organization. That's the base benefit, and that's what a consumer gets.
Right. So what's the flip side? Is there a flip side to that?
There is. So it's.
Before we really get into some more details of this.
See, before we get into the whole piece, one has to realize that individual health cover itself is very, very small in this country. So very few people have gone out and bought a health insurance policy for themselves, which they hold. So, and the proof of it is, look at the hospital costs, how much of it is being paid by individual health insurance policies. It's extremely small compared to what you would find in many developed markets, where 2/3 to 80% of the costs are paid by the insurance companies in something like the US. That is certainly not the case here. We're on the opposite side of that, right? Now, the flip side of it is, you can do it only at the time of renewal. You have to 45 days in advance inform the company that you want to port to.
So what you're saying is, before 45 days of your current policy lapsing, you need to inform
the new insurer.
Right.
The new insurer has the right to take you on or not take you on based on their underwriting. They have a 15-day window. So you inform them 45 days earlier, then you get the forms, you fill up the forms, you submit them, and then they have 15 days to accept, reject, or ask for a medical underwriting. Now, so essentially they're looking for healthy lives. Our data tells us about 50% of the people, because we're looking at it in terms of how many people are applying for portability, how many people are getting it. About 50% of the people are able to port. For the remaining 50% who are not able to port, they usually end up being frustrated customers that, hey, I tried this portability and it did not get accepted. And mostly when you're rejected, the consumer feels quite bad. So it tends to be a bad experience for them. But 50% of the people have been able to port.
Right. So what is portable and what isn't?
Okay. It's a very important question. Your base sum assured, suppose you have a policy which has a 3 lakh sum assured, and where you have completed 3 years or 4 years, let's say, of your waiting period. Now you move on to a new policy. It will be assumed you have completed 4 years.
Right.
And hence all the benefits that come in with having completed 4 years would be transferred to you as per the new policy. In addition, if the 3 lakh sum assured that you had is transferred, so you can get 3 lakh rupees. Now the company may or may not give you a higher sum assured than that. Now your older company might have certain add-ons, critical illness, personal accident, certain features like OPD cover. So a health insurance policy is not standard yet. It's not like there is one health insurance policy for all companies, right? Those benefits are specific to that particular insurance policy.
Right.
The new policy you enter may not have those benefits. And if it does not have those benefits, you shall not be able to get them. Or they may not be on offer. So they may have a critical illness plan, but it's not obliged to give you the critical illness benefit also through portability. It may not provide you that. So you start with the base policy. And you will have to take everything else. Now, the second part is you obviously have to go through a medical, which is almost like taking on a new policy. So most companies want good health through portability. They do not want the what you would call, where a medical has happened or where there is some particular issue, where some pre-existing disease exists. They would usually try to avoid that. Also, one has to realize that while they are taking the good benefits and giving the advantages, every company does have certain benefits on completion. So these restore benefits, etc., that you are seeing, some of them do not apply. So if you've completed 4 years with a company which has restore benefits and your sum assured has doubled, your sum assured will not double here. You will start at the same 3 lakh rupees. So yeah, there are certain things that you don't. Those are the specifics of the policy that you need to get involved in. But the base cover and the waiting periods are carried forward.
Right. And what effect has that had on the health insurance industry in India? And also, when we started this program, we talked about the fact that consumers aren't really taking full advantage of portability. And what are the reasons for that?
See, everybody is not aware of the process. Many people are not aware that they can also do it from their corporate policies, because a lot of people have corporate policies.
Right.
So they're not aware that they can take their corporate policies and port them into individual policies. So awareness,
that's an important point.
That's a very important point. So, for example, in our company, there'll be 1,000 people who would have this health insurance provided by the company. And as they change their job, they can convert it into an individual policy. Of course, the sum assured that they have here will carry on, but they will have a premium to pay on their own, which will be different from what's being paid for the group. More importantly, some of the benefits will be different, because an individual policy has different benefits from a group insurance policy.
Right.
So group insurance policies usually have the maternity claim benefit, and some of the wait periods on pre-existing diseases are much smaller in a group insurance policy than an individual policy. So suddenly they'll be part of an individual policy. It'll be assumed like they've kind of started from there onwards. So, but that option exists for them to kind of convert it into an individual plan and move on from there. So most people are not aware, and it's still a tedious process. I have seen these processes. Even when consumers come to us and say, help me with this porting or advise me on this porting, our own people are a little worried, because they really want to understand, will this person be able to port? Because at the end of it, after 45 days, you don't want an unhappy customer, no transaction.
Right, and you've been stressing on that. But, after this break, we have to take a short break right now. We'll get into how that process actually works. You said it is a tedious process, but let's look into that and see how it actually works.
Sure.
But you can write to us. You can write to us on Twitter at PolicyBazaar_in. You can also email us at ask@PolicyBazaar.com. And we're going to take your questions after this short break. Keep watching.
लिव प्योर आरू खरीदें और सचिन से मिलने का मौका पाएं। लिव प्योर आरू खरीदें और सचिन से मिलने का मौका पाएं।
Come on, India, live pure. To take a great photo, you need the right place, the right time, and the right tools. And to make sure you always have the right tools, we put them in something you'll always have with you. Meet the 41 megapixel Windows Phone Nokia Lumia 1020.
गेंदों की धार पे बल्ले का वार होगा, अफ्रीकी धरती पर जमकर शिकार होगा। बुलंद है शिखर और चुनौती है विराट, है किसके पास अब धोनी की कार? जमीन पर देखिए क्रिकेट की एक रोमांचक जंग। इंडिया टूर ऑफ साउथ अफ्रीका लाइव ऑन 10 क्रिकेट, 10 HD and 10 स्पोर्ट्स।
अतिथि देवो भव, क्या है इसका मतलब? ऑस्ट्रेलिया से स्टेला लिखती हैं कि जब वो पहली बार हिंदुस्तान आई।
अबे सवारी मेरी है। प्लीज कंगी पे मैडम, प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज। यार भाई थोड़ा आगे तक छोड़ देना। फ्रेंड मैडम, ड्रॉप टू पेट्रोल पंप। पेट्रोल खत्म हो गया था।
Where are we going?
शॉर्टकट मैडम, सेव योर मनी। You don't worry.
Don't touch me. Stop touching me. Let's get off of me. Get off. Get off. Help! It's getting help! Help! Help!
क्या हो रहा है? चल बे, निकल यहाँ से। काम देगा अपना। नहीं काम देख रहा हूँ। कम मैडम कम। मार खाएगा क्या? है? जान से मारना पड़ेगा। दम है? दम मैडम।
Thank you so much. You're an angel.
स्टेला के फरिश्ते और हमारे हीरो सुखविंदर जी, ऐसे ही लोग अतिथि देवो भव का मतलब साकार करते हैं और भारत इन्हें सलाम करता है। अतिथि देवो भव।
Sunday rides on Hero.
गेंदों की धार में बल्ले का वार होगा, अफ्रीकी धरती पर जमकर शिंगार होगा। अफ्रीकी जमीन पर देखिए क्रिकेट की एक रोमांचक जंग। लाइव ऑन 10 क्रिकेट, 10 HD and 10 स्पोर्ट्स।
Worldwide Achievers presents Healthcare Excellence Awards 2013, India's most authoritative awards that recognizes healthcare excellence. To nominate, log on to www.worldwideachievers.in. Media partner, Headlines Today. Print media partner, Drug Today Medical Times.
Go viral or die trying. The MTS M-Blaze Ultra, now on 3G Plus network.
Welcome back to Policy Bazaar. I'm Arjun Bhagat and we're talking to Yashish Daya. Yashish, we're talking about health insurance portability. Go through that process. You said it is a difficult process, but it often can be worth your while if you do that.
See, it's you have to be aware of when is your, suppose 30th of December is the final date of your policy, then by 15th of November, you need to inform the company you need to transfer to. You need to research which company you need to transfer to and be sure of which company you want to transfer to 45 days in advance. You inform the company, then the company provides you all the forms and formalities that need to be completed before you apply for this. Now you complete that, that goes to the company. Now the company has 15 days to assess. If in 15 days they have not reverted back to you, technically it implies they have accepted you and you are free to move on. However, practically we have found problems there as well, because sometimes the company may take longer than 15 days to respond, but eventually not take on the customer, and that leads to a lot of grief. And the last thing one wants is that particular process. See, one of the reasons why the process is not as straightforward as possible is because companies are a bit worried. See, most people who are looking, there are two reasons why you would look to port. Innovation has happened in the industry. You are very excited about a new product and you want to move to it.
Right.
Or you've made a claim and you're unhappy with the way the claim was treated. You're really unhappy with your insurer and you want out of this particular policy and you want to move into another policy. Now, the awareness of innovations is very limited. Most people are not aware of, it's not an industry you really like to keep tabs of, that which new product has come out and what's happening. So a lot of people who are looking to port are people who've had a claims experience. And if you had a claims experience, in the insurance parlance, it tends to be essentially what people call a bad life. So nobody wants to take it on, or few people would like to take it on. And that is exactly why...
That's why so many...
that is exactly why you have so many rejections. Right. And that is exactly why the process is so tedious, because the company wants to take that 15 days to assess they have to get information from the previous company on the claims history, making sure that all the declarations are correct, and only then take one on. So that's the reason why it's a complicated process, because it's the it's the nature of the beast that what kind of consumers want to port.
Right.
Is a bit of a question mark.
So it's kind of a vicious circle there, and that may be one of the reasons why there is such apprehension to port.
I think that is the reason why there is a process out there, and why companies are not very aggressively pushing for portability, because they understand that a lot of the people who will ask for portability would be because of unhappiness with the current insurer, not because they found something very exciting in another insurance company.
Right. Before we take our questions from our viewers, let's delve a little bit more on corporate insurance that individuals get, but when they move out of a company, you mentioned that they could actually port that
into an individual policy.
So can the person actually increase the cover?
See, suppose they have a 1 lakh cover or a 2 lakh cover. They can take a 1 lakh cover or a 2 lakh cover only, and they have to take it from the same insurance company. They can port it after 1 year is over, but right now they have to take it from the same insurance. So if you have your corporate policies with, let's say, with New India Assurance, you will have to take with the New India Assurance only. You could, at the end of 1 year, port it. Port it to another company. But first you'll have to take it, and you'll get the same cover. You may now speak to the insurance company, and based on medical criteria, etc., it may enhance your cover. However, the company is due to provide you the same cover at least, without any further check, because they are anyways providing it as part of the corporate policy. However, they will not provide you certain benefits, as I said, which come with the corporate policy, which are things like maternity cover, wait periods being lower, etc. Those would not be provided.
All right, we've got a question from Abhishek Srivastava from Orissa. He's 47 years old. He says, I got an angioplasty done in 2008. I applied for a term policy with LIC for 25 lakhs. They asked for a premium of 45,000 yearly. I paid for 1 year and discontinued it. I have now applied to 2 or 3 different companies, but they've all refused the cover. After how many years can I apply? Can I be treated like a normal customer or not? Or should I continue the LIC policy?
I think, first of all, if you had a policy and you had an angioplasty, the individual must continue with that particular policy. There is no reason to, specifically when once one has had a medical condition, there is no need to terminate your term insurance policy. Because if you do move on to another policy, first of all, it will be very difficult. And you already have the cover. And chances are that when one has had one of these critical illnesses, chances are much higher that they might be in use of that term policy in the next 10 years, 15 years. So I think it doesn't make sense how, if they can continue it, they should continue it. There are certain clauses by which, in case they have certain time periods up to 2 years, you can restart the policy. So they must attempt to restart that policy. And I think that would be the best advice for them.
Right, we've got Pratik Mishra from Kolkata. He says, I'm 31 years old. My left kidney has been removed due to damage in June 2012. Can I take insurance for the right kidney, and from which company do I get this medical policy from?
He'll have to try. There will be companies who would offer health insurance to him. However, most would exclude kidney or kidney-related diseases. So related diseases, they would usually ask for an exclusion on that, and a permanent exclusion on that. I do not think any company would waive that, but he'll have to try. He'll have to try with at least 4 or 5 companies, and maybe one of them may agree. But he'll have to look around.
Right, we've got Neera from Bhopal, and she writes, I'm 30 years old, married, and I've recently got Max Life Partner Plus plan, a premium of 12,500 per year, endowment participating term, 20 years, sum assured, 1.47 lakhs. How is this plan? Basically asking you to evaluate
it's a guaranteed money-back plan where there is a particular bonus that can come in. That's why it's called participating. The guaranteed amount would not give you a huge return. The returns would be in the nature of about 2 to 4% from the guaranteed part. However, there is a bonus one could get on top of that, which is another 2 to 4%. So from a pure returns perspective, nothing to write home about. Yes, there are benefits that one gets with the plan. It's essentially a form of retirement plan. So while one invests for 10 years, 20 years, one gets the benefits from 61 to 75 years. Over a 15-year period, you would receive 7.5% of your sum assured every year, and you could use it as a retirement plan. That's the objective. The advantage is tax-free. When you receive the money, it will be tax-free. Your investment is tax-free. Your benefits are tax-free. So you've got the tax benefit coming in 3 times, which is critical.
So one has to look at it from a multi-dimensional point of view rather than say that, okay, it's just a...
Tax, long-term, disciplined investment, risk coverage. These are the 4 reasons why one should invest in traditional plans. So again, tax, long-term, so disciplined approach, risk coverage, and guaranteed returns. That's the reason high returns is not the reason why you would invest in a plan like this. There are many other ways to get a high return.
Right. We've got another caller with us. Neha, go ahead with your question.
My question was regarding a family floater plan. It actually has 2 parts. First, I would like to know what is the maximum number of people that can be covered under a family floater plan. And also, I have a family with my spouse and 2 children. So I wanted your recommendation on which plan should I look at.
So basically, you're looking at a family floater plan for a family of 4. Yashish, what would you recommend for that?
For a family of 4, a family floater plan is the right plan as long as the children are quite young and they've got another 10 years before they kind of go on and become individual policyholders on their own. There are lots of options for people. Most of the health insurance specialist companies, whether it's Apollo, whether it's Max, whether it's Religare, whether it's Star Health, are there. You also have new options coming into the market very soon. Cigna's just got their R3 license, so very soon you'll see products from Cigna. A lot of the other insurance companies, whether it's L&T Health, whether it's Bajaj, whether it's HDFC, they're coming out with innovative products, and I think there are lots of options for the consumers. So I think the family floater plan is probably the most well-served plan out there, and one should go ahead with it. And the costs are roughly you would get about a 4 lakh plan for about 5,000 rupees, 6,000 rupees. You'd get it at about that level.
Right, Yashish, now that's all the time that we have on this show, but you can write to us on Twitter at PolicyBazaar_in, and you can email us at ask@policybazaar.com, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.